this is Metal Marty,
I'm Dan Thunderbolton.
and you're watching.
LoudGuitars.com.
Hello, Canada.
Pamela here with LoudGuitars.com, and I'm here with Marty and Dan from the Supersuckers. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
We're doing great, thanks. So excited for tonight's show. It's been a while since I was lucky enough to catch you guys. How is this tour going?
It's going so smooth, it's kind of boring,
Uh-oh.
which is good.
That's a good thing.
No gear went missing. None of your gear went missing in Ottawa.
Thankfully not, but yeah, Nashville got some stuff nicked, but we're getting through it.
Okay, well, that's good. And you guys have quite a tour schedule ahead of you. I looked at the dates, and you're going straight through to September.
Well, the website hasn't taken off a couple of dates we've canceled. When we get to Rhode Island, that's going to be the last show. We're not doing Albany. We're not doing all those shows. The next show will be San Diego.
Okay, so a little bit of break for a rest, maybe?
Something like that. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. You can only work so long. You have to take a break, and then we'll hit hard again. So.
Yeah, I guess when you go out and play the way you guys play, you have to sort of pace yourselves, right? A tour must be exhausting.
Not so much.
Not so much.
You take enough time off the road to be poor again, then you go back out on the road.
There's a lot of incentive to get back out on the road for sure. We would prefer to be working than not working.
I totally can relate to that. If you were going to introduce Supersuckers to somebody who didn't know the band, and you could pick 3 songs to say, have a listen, this will help you catch a vibe. Is that a mean question? I know, because there's so many songs. Could you tell me what your 3 would be?
It would be Mudhead, Paid, and Born with a Tail.
All right, very good. And yours?
Probably Born with a Tail, How to Maximize Your Kill Count, and Creepy Jackalope.
All right. Now, you guys have had quite a bit of exposure in movies, television shows, and on all the skateboard and snowboard videos. Are you finding that, are you moving a lot of tracks over the internet? Like, are you guys selling tons of stuff through iTunes, or are your fans more like going to the record stores and grabbing discs?
I think it's through the internet, but really, are we really selling a lot of songs on the internet? I don't know.
You sold me a bunch.
Okay, there we go.
I think our fan base is more about coming out to the shows, probably at this point in our career. As far as the legacy of the Suckers goes, yeah, we always look forward to doing, making new songs happen and making new records happen. It's changing out there a lot, but the live show is definitely the bread and butter of the band for sure.
And now that you're on your own label, you've got some freedom there that maybe didn't exist previously. Are you noticing it? No.
Unfortunately, that's too much freedom. We're looking for a label now.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what do you think the advantage would be to be with a major label again?
More major problems I would be looking forward to than not having those major problems.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a big undertaking to do everything by yourself, so it's nice to have, some help.
I was going to ask about that because I wonder, when you bring business into such a creative, well, what is supposed to be primarily a creative outlet.
Right. I'm supposed to be the artist, not the manager. So it's like, let's get a manager, let's get a label, let's band members get back to doing live music and sticking to writing songs instead of trying to figure out who's going to pick up the record, who's going to distribute it. Let's not be the record company anymore. Let's have the record company be the record company, artists be the artists.
Because when I was reading some of the bio, and I was reading about starting your own label and working and doing everything self-contained, self-managed, the first question I thought is, oh my God, when can you free up your head enough to write? Has that had an impact on how much time is put? Well, it would have an impact on how much time you can put toward creating, no?
We thought it'd be better if we were the liars to ourselves, but actually it's better to have liars lying to your face than doing it yourself.
There's actually, when I was at NAM in January, I came across a company by the name of Artist Growth, and they came up with this software that you can purchase for your iPhone or an iPad or whatever, and it was specifically to that purpose: help you control your merch, help you to put all your contacts for all your PR people, your all the different people managing all the different venues and everything. And it's almost as though they started to feel a need in the industry for people who want to self-manage to be able to self-manage. Now, I would imagine that when you're managing yourself, on top of any creative tension, like a lot of the time in bands, there's creative tension because people are passionate about what moves them. So if you add to that business tension, did you find that was that difficult for the band to grow through?
Well, sure. Our old drummer, who was actually trying to be our manager, we fired our manager, then our drummer quit, but they both are one and the same person. So we didn't like the managing, so, but he didn't like the way we fired the manager because he was the same guy. So it does create conflict. There's nothing funner than going up stage to play a show and knowing that the person behind you totally fucked up and didn't order enough shirts. And it's like you got to pretend like, oh, we're all good buddies up here, but you know, you just really just want to turn around and punch that person in the face for losing money.
Yeah, and that's where the business coming into the music, they don't mix very well, right?
Band members, it's like bringing family members in to work for you. It's like you only want to bring in people that you can fire and replace.
Right. And so, how is the dynamic now? And are you guys enjoying the tour? Are you enjoying being on stage? Are you enjoying the process?
Barely.
We're kind of the point now to where, I mean, we love performing. If we didn't enjoy it so much, we wouldn't be out here doing it for sure. So, that component to it is great. And, we're a little older now. We're not quite as, I don't know. There has been a lot of conflict in quite a while. So, I mean, the performing part is fine. The creating part is fine. Just, finding a way to make a new record in this day and age is kind of the challenge that we have right now.
Yeah, I understand technology, right? It's like sucking the life out of the people.
Not so much technology as it is just the way the industry has changed. Labels are kind of a thing of the past. It's not like the 90s where you got a record deal and a bunch of money. I mean, at this point, our prerogative is to make a good product, find good distribution for it, and tour behind that product.
I think you've got a very good, solid fan base behind you, and your fan base must be quite diverse to follow the different music that you did. Put out a rock and roll record, put out a country record. Like, I mean, there's a lot of crossover in that. But do you find that you have the same fans coming to the shows now as were coming 5 years ago?
Yes, but we should make the shows a little bit earlier in the night instead of waiting till midnight because they're in their 40s, we're in our 40s. We all want to be in bed before 1 o'clock in the morning.
I feel you.
I'm seeing her, oh, I'm 44 years old. And they're, oh, I'm 44 years old.
Yeah, it's a different kind of thrill. I mean, you don't want to admit that you've become jaded, but that kind of happens. But yeah, a lot of our fan base now, it's not like they just go out 3 times a week to see live music. They got to get a sitter and pick their nights to go out and blah blah blah. And luckily, for the most part, they do choose to continue to come and see the Supersuckers, which enables us to continue doing this. So.
Well, it's a great live show. It's very energetic, and I saw you guys a while back and loved it. And it's funny because it's so grassroots in some ways. You should have seen the buzz all over Facebook tonight, Supersuckers, and everybody's, yeah, we're coming. So I think it's probably going to be a good full house on a Wednesday night.
Good.
And we all have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we do too. I mean, I think the band is all about putting on a good show and actually entertaining, which in a lot of ways is, a little bit of a lost art. And, we like putting on a show, not just playing the songs, but putting on a show for the people who, pay some money to get in. And we want everybody to have fun, and we have fun doing it as well.
How does the band write? Do you guys write collaboratively, everybody together, or is it one person bringing ideas, or?
It's Eddie and I do most of the writing, but the majority of the writing is usually with him. I probably do like 2 songs to every 5 songs he writes. But it's Get that mic right in my face. Um, but usually the songs are kind of whipped up like a couple of verses and a chorus and a guitar riff on acoustic guitar. Then we bring it to the band, and then you play the same kind of chords to a Les Paul and a half stack, and then it's all of a sudden it's a Supersucker song.
All right, and so Les Paul, is that your axe of choice?
Yep.
And what do you play it through?
Play it through 100-watt Marshall half stack super lead with greenback 25-watt Celestians.
Okay. And if you, what was the last piece of gear you picked up that made you really excited?
Well, over in Europe, I have a OR50 orange amplifier, and that was a pretty good buy. I got a sweet deal on it from the Orange company, but nice amp.
Anything you want to say to Orange?
Send me free stuff. I need everything: bass cabs, guitar cabs, amplifiers, two of everything. Will simplify everything. Just two of everything. Thank you.
There we go. And how about you? Do you have any? What are you using?
Basically the same setup as Dan. I have a Les Paul that I just run through a 1973 100-watt super lead cabinet with greenbacks, and I'm pretty retro that way. I just have like kind of one boost pedal and no pedal board to really speak of, and keep it kind of simple. And it's kind of my job in the band to kind of color the songs that are there, and sing a bit with Eddie and play killer leads, and I really enjoy playing with these guys, so it's pretty easy gig for me, really.
Well, that's cool. And have you come across anything lately that just made you want to play? Any new sound, new tone?
Not so much. I mean, I have an old AC30 at home that I use occasionally when we're doing the country stuff, and I really like that amp. I don't travel with it all that much, but I'm kind of past like going into guitar stores and geeking out and stuff. I kind of have what I need, and I don't really need much more than that.
Well, that's good. So you don't have gas, the gear acquisition syndrome that so many people have. They want two of everything.
Yeah, pretty far from it. I mean, I basically use one guitar and one amp for the last couple of years with the band. It's all I've really used. So.
How does Supersuckers record in the studio?
Quickly, very quickly. The best thing to do is to rehearse as much as possible. And if you can, whoever you're going to be recording with, to have them come to rehearsal, try to make as many adjustments as you can before you get into the studio, because time is money when it goes into the studio. It's not the time to start rewriting a song. You want it to have it all mapped out. And because no matter what happens, you always run out of time in the studio, regardless if you think you have enough time or not. But things will arise that will occupy you quite a bit. So rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Practice makes perfect.
And do you record sort of live off the floor, everybody playing at once?
No, we try, but nothing. It's the biggest thing to do is get the drums done first. The drums, and then try to get the bass fixed. But we do record everything while we're playing, but usually the guitar parts are going to be redone regardless, because they're not. It's not like playing live where everything is nice and tight. It's like you're kind of separated. You're trying to listen to things with the headphones, and you really don't know how loud your headphones are until you take them off and walk away. Then you come back and you hear the playback, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that's what I'm wearing on my head. And it's it's kind of just, you can't. It's kind of a hard vibe to overcome, to try to do something special. So most likely you go back and you redo your guitar parts and try to make some magic happen that way. But it's also, you always think you can do better, and then a lot of times you're just killing yourself trying to do something better that you already got recorded, and somebody needs to step in and say, okay, time out, sleep on it, we'll decide tomorrow. I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff on this tech.
So live show or studio, what do you prefer?
I like them both. I mean, I think performing, I think, can become a pretty big part of your personality if you're able to do it on a regular basis. So you kind of, it's easy to get addicted to that, and you miss it when you're not able to do it. But creating in the studio is really fun too when it's good. When it's a struggle or bad, just like anything else in life, it kind of sucks. But if you come into it prepared, which we generally do, and Dan and I have a pretty good rapport in the studio, so we're able to meet our objective pretty quickly. And the goal of recording is to finish the songs, get them out, so you can go out and perform them live. Really, that's the payoff for recording.
So where'd you get the name Metal Marty?
I was in a slew of metal bands in the '90s, and that's just what my buddies used to call me, and just kind of stuck.
It's a good name. It's a good name. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me tonight.